Very rarely do I do business with local customers. However, most of the time when they see this, then they seem to be really impressed. So I just wanted to show you our new room for sandblasting and our air compressor room. I have two Polar Air 120 gallon air compressors, and we also have two dryers for them. The dryers cools the air down to 34 degrees, which keeps the air from having moisture inside of it. The air lines run all the way out to the main shop, and then they also run over to this side of the building, which we just built this onto the building. So normally this would have been the outside of the building. So we had all the electrical done. The air compressors I bought a couple years ago just because the problem with the air compressors from like Lowe's, they just can't withstand as much air as we needed for sandblasting. These compressors are about $2,500 a piece, which is very reasonable because I was buying them from Lowe's for $800, and the last one I bought I didn't get more than a month out of. So by the time you spend all that money, you'd be better off getting a better deal, spending the extra money, and getting a better quality air compressor. These compressors, they run at lower RPM, so they're not as loud. And this one also has the silencer kit on it, which is an extra $300. I was just kind of curious if it would do anything. And this one was the original one I bought. The only time I had a problem out of this is I think the continuous run valve was on this compressor, and if you leave that on, then the motor won't cut off. Well, I wasn't living in this area at the time, and I think that this one must have run until the motor locked up. However, the pump is still good. So this company has a 5-year warranty, so they just sent me a new electric motor free of charge, so that was pretty awesome. They're also made in the USA. And here's a sandblast room, and we also moved our welders over here too. So I have that Miller-Matic TIG welder. I have the Miller-Matic MIG welder, and then I have the Miller, I think it's a Syncrowave, I can't remember. It's a Syncrowave 210. That's a really good welder. You could do TIG welding, aluminum welding on it if you wanted to do that with a quick spool gun. It came with a quick spool gun and a lot of different options. So if you need a welder, I highly recommend you go into Miller. You're going to spend the extra money, but they're actually going to last you a lot longer. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a lot more worth it for you to spend the extra money. Because usually when you don't spend the extra money, you end up spending more money. You end up spending more money to have to go and buy quality equipment in addition to the low quality equipment that you bought. So you'd be better off just spending the extra money if you were in the business for the long term anyway. These two blasters, these are vapor honing technology blasters. One is the lowest grade model, and then the other one is a little bit higher grade. This one runs for about $2,000. This other one is $3,400 is what I paid for it. This one I like so much better just because it's so much more convenient. This other one is more of just for somebody that just wants to do it on occasion. The thing that makes this one so much more convenient is it's got an automatic sprayer to clean the window, and it's got a light bar in it. And the light bar did go bad, but it was under warranty, so they just had me pay for shipping and they sent me a new one. So the idea behind this blaster, I had one of my subscribers tell me about this company. So you put water inside the machine, and it uses water and sand or media, blasting media. And with that combination, you can keep the dust down so that you don't have the cancer effects or the health hazard effects of the dust being in your lungs. These are just vent pipes, so nothing really comes out of them. But if you didn't have the vent pipes, that pressurized air that you shoot out of it, because it uses the air compressors, it would cause this to basically puff up and explode. But you have the vent pipes to be able to have the vent to have that additional air vent out. This is my paint area. So we have a fan that will take all the fumes outdoors. And they put a shelf here for the paint cans. It's got an LED light here. Fan flips on right here. This is my first blaster I ever bought. This is a bad boy blaster. These are also made in the United States. This is on my sand media. We had just picked this up recently. That's a porticle, which we don't really use anymore. That used to be what we used to try and vent the building. The bad boy blaster is just a dust blaster, so air compressed blaster. It has no water in it, so it's more of a hazard, but it does have a vacuum system on it. And what we did to make that more convenient is, what I didn't like about the bad boy blaster is it has, see these knobs here are the buttons, so that's like your lights and stuff. Now on the back side, you'd have to walk all the way around the machine to turn the fan on. To turn on the bag system. Anyway, so because what I didn't like about the bad boy blaster is that you'd have to walk all the way around the machine to turn the vacuum system on that bags up the sand. So to get around that, we ended up redoing it, and we put a switch right here. So you just turn that on, and you have suction. Everything, all the dust comes out here, and would normally go to the back of the machine. But what we changed was we ended up running a pipe and putting the bags outside. That because despite all that, some of the dust would come out of that machine and fill up the shop with dust. So doing that helps throw the dust outside, so we don't have to worry about the health hazard of breathing that in, because that will give you silicosis and get inside your lungs, and it doesn't come out, so it can permanently damage you, and you'll have a lot of health problems later. We just got our first snow outside. This is our pressure washing room. So we've got a shower curtain here. We've got a drain to outside, poured concrete. There's an electrical outlet. And this is our tub where we would pressure wash. I haven't got to use this yet, mainly just because I don't really do that much part of that in the business. I do all the machining stuff. So you can see there's water there. Water is going to the pressure washer. We got air connections here. There's air connections up and water that runs across this. There's a water spigot there. And this is where the pressure washer is. So the pressure washer is outside, where it's inside of a enclosed container, where the thing we wanted to do that for was a place to keep it warm, where we could use it outside and inside if we wanted to. That's the bad boy blaster vacuum pump, or vacuum bag system, I guess you could call it, right there. So like I said, we did that to get the dust outside. We also have motion sensor lights on this side. So if I wanted to pressure wash, which we usually do in that cart. And that's pretty much everything with our new building we have here.